Yo, yo, what's up, diggity dogs? Give me a high five! So, last episode we ranked all the Pixar films. Now we're on to something we can all agree on, ranking the dramatis personae of Stranger Things. Da 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 da. So, see, with Season 4 just concluded, we can start this video properly. So, yeah, the microphone is on. Mrs. Kelly, the only named East Asian character that I can think of in the entire series. A, because, yes, I know it was a plot point that she refused to give away the info on Freddy and Chrissy. On the other hand, it is very important that she respected patient confidentiality, something that a certain other therapist that I've been with failed to understand. So, you know what, S tier for respecting patient confidentiality, even when the world was at stake, because you should always do that. Next, Cynthia, C for Cynthia. She, on the one hand, she was didn't do much. On the other hand, she was an associate of Lonnie, so C tier, didn't do that much. That woman, B tier for being helpful but not doing much else. Larry Klein, okay, that is one of the most hilariously obvious Trump parodies I've seen in a long time, so A tier. And on the other hand, he's also played by Carrie freaking Elwes, who's in basically every, just the sheer campiness of this character. He really captures, like, the idiot mayor archetype and plays it to its finest. I mean, Carrie Elwes, Princess Bride, Saw, and a bunch of direct-to-DVD cheap movies. A-tier character. Robin Buckley. Okay, S-tier for ADHD representation, neurodiversion. I mean, it was a bit ham-fisted in Season 4, but pretty good. Also, gay rep. I mean, like, it's the 80s, so they can't go that far with gay rep. Like, without being unreasonably naive, but very much well-intentioned. Very complicated character, and has a ton of badass moments in Season 4. So, S tier it is. Heather Holloway, she was a nice girl, very sad what happened to her, so B tier. I think that was, Angela's BF, so D tier. Susie, okay, I just love this character. I mean, she's adorable, she's a good Mormon representation, and nerdy, very helpful. The never-ending story scene was awesome. And she managed to help create Cerebro. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. And the Mormon scene, the family scene was so hilarious, it really raises the question of why the entire series wasn't entirely focused on that family for the past 4 seasons. But anyway, great character, great great that they managed to create a Christian nerd character. We don't have enough of those. Holly Wheeler, B tier because she's fairly cute, but she's really, it doesn't really get a lot of characterization for obvious reasons. She's only a kid, so just putting her in the neutral area. Jim Bob, okay, he is. Okay, this character is awesome. We all love Jim Bob. I mean, he manages to take on. He was a great deconstruction of toxic masculinity, great authority figure, one of the few examples of a good member of the Damn Pigs. In fact, is he even still a member of the Damn Pigs? I don't remember. And I really loved the Russian plotline in Season 4. Really showed off how much of a badass he was, and as someone who read on the Cold War, great. Okay, I just love that plot for how much of a subversion it was, or the typical stuff, and really brought up into the survival horror aspect. Very tragic character, and very much another parallel between a certain other show, where the main authority figure is this uber machismo protagonist with a super tragic backstory. Who I was talking about The Boys. So yeah, Jim Hopper, great character, and there was also that epic scene at the end of Season 4 where he single-handedly managed to kill the Ivans Demogorgon, also badass. And the Joyce ship is great. One of the better relationships in the show. Personally, I feel like on the one hand, they can't kill off Jim Hopper. He's one of the David Harbour is one of the great hooks of Stranger Things in its marketing, so they can't really kill him off. But on the other hand, like, it really takes away the depth of his sacrifice in season 3. Okay, and here we come to the big bad himself, Vecna. Okay, oh wait, I mean, she's still number 1 for respecting patient confidentiality. That's very important. So, but Vecna is easily, you know what, he's just number 2, but by simply the grandiosity of this character. On the one hand, he was the mastermind behind, well, spoiler alert, I mean, everything in the series. So that's epic. Like, and the one I love how the plot, how he like starts out as this mild-mannered guy played by the dashing Jamie Campbell Bower, but then we learn that he was the man who triggered the murders in Hawkins all that time ago, which was one of the biggest dun 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 moments in the series. Not only that, but we learned that not only was he but he was also basically Eleven's mentor and the first of the psychic test subjects. And he was the guy and he was basically the puppet master of the Mind Flayer. I mean, on the one hand, and his speech about humans are a unique type of pest polluting our world. Given events in Europe, he is very much right. He is very much right about that part. So S tier, like, great fleshed out misanthropic philosophy. And but in hindsight, it's kind of how they mix up his strategy every single season. It goes from using one monster to kidnap a kid, to using a bunch of smaller monsters, then using a psychic black fart cloud to turn people into salsa or something. And then he just straight up turns into Freddy Krueger. And he doesn't like people having taste in music. And I love how Pitch Meeting pointed out the similarities between him and Voldemort. Do. But yeah, just like how one psychic manages to basically bring about the end of the world is pretty epic. So S tier for just the depth of this villain. Grigori, A tier character. Really love the Terminator homage. Really love how they brought in the Red Scare. Unlike China, you're actually allowed to criticize Russia nowadays. I mean, of course the Chinese would I don't care about advertisers, but of course we know that the Chinese would basically do the exact same thing, except that piece of media would be cancelled to hell and back. But anyway, Grigori himself, great show homage to the Terminator. And great throwback, and great antagonist for Hopper. Epic fight scene. Dr. Brenner, the mastermind behind the whole thing, the whole psychic program, the Hawkins National Laboratory. I love how in episode 1 he starts out as this just this cold, sterile government agent, map plotting everything, and then he's fleshed out in season 4 with the heartbreaking opening scene of the series that really fleshes him out. And I'm going to be honest, his demise was one of the saddest in the entire series, just the way it was framed in between everything. It really broke my heart personally. Just everything that he was planning, the way he was shot, his final act of kindness, really helped humanize this antagonist. And really just shows even in the worst people, there's some humanity left. And also shows the evils of a government, of government experimentation. Max's mom, B tier. Okay, C tier for marrying that complete piece of works, but and just not getting a lot of fleshing out. So just putting her in C tier, not that much to him. The Demogorgon. Okay, the Demogorgon, the series mascot of Stranger Things, A tier. I mean, the first Demogorgon, I mean, he was really ineffective. I mean, on the one hand, he really was just a mindless monster, but on the other hand, he really managed to be a consistent threat throughout the entire series. And the most terrifying part, he was literally just the vanguard, like basically he was just a foot soldier the whole time in season 1. And we later learned that the Mind Flayer, aka Vecna, aka, get the deal, had an entire army of them. Also, in Stranger Things, in season 4, like the scene where they had the Demogorgon return after being absent for 3 seasons, or basically 2 whole seasons. Having the series mascot return in full glory was just epic, and giving Jim Bob a final showdown duel against one, also epic. A tier, one of the great classic monsters, up there with the Xenomorph and the Predator, like just basically a classic movie monster. Alice Creel, C tier. I mean, she really doesn't do anything. One of the school bullies, D tier for being a bully. Look, one thing I realized about this series is that there are basically like this series just like has a bunch of I'm gonna be honest, like this tier list, like I want to make sure I had all of my favorite characters, but they really just included a bunch of superfluous characters that I really don't have anything to say about. I'm just gonna put these guys here because it's not that I hate them or don't like them, they're just too small for me to have thoughts on them. And now we get to Chrissy. B tier, on the one hand, she was a fairly cute character, had fair characterization, but on the other hand, she had great chemistry with Joseph Quinn / Eddie Munson. But to be honest, in hindsight, she was just basically just a complete red shirt in every sense of the word. And what do I mean by red shirt? I mean, she appears for 1 episode and is then killed off to start off the plot. I mean, she's shown us having a fair relationship with Jason, stable, I guess. And of course she had good chemistry with Eddie Munson, but I really feel like she was just a red shirt kill, not really, or I think this is one of my problems with the show. Whenever they kill off character, I'll get to that shortly. But on the other hand, she was a decent character, very sad what happened to her. Robert Englund, aka Victor Creel, B tier, okay, A tier, great cameo, great makeup, great backstory, and great foreshadowing towards the true big bad of Stranger Things, and great Signs of the Lambs reference, and also very good slight commentary on the nature of how the disgusting way mental illness is treated nowadays. Very sad. Connie Fraser, B tier for being a decently detestable villain in the series, government agent. She killed Benny, very mean of her. Okay, Freddie Benson. Yes, this guy's literally named Freddie Benson from iCarly. Okay, C tier because I just want to go on a rant. Whenever they kill off characters in the show, it's literally just for red shirts. This character never appeared before season 4, and he only shows up just so they can have someone to kill off, but they don't want to kill off. I mean, they had so many, useless background characters in the school, who had decent characterization. Why couldn't they just, I think that killing off, a name character who had even a cameo in the earlier seasons would have had more impact. It's just, I feel like he just showed up, oh no, here's a new character, oh no, he killed off. One thing it's just, killing off main characters or, even named characters isn't just there for shock value. It also shakes up the status quo and makes the threat feel more real because even the named characters aren't safe. The worst example of plot armor is with the Demogorgon pit fight, where everyone except the 2 named characters are basically knocked down like bowling pins, and the main characters are able to sneak out from this carnage. Really makes the threat feel extremely fake. Virginia Creel, I didn't get much characterization. Barb Holland, A tier. I mean, she was introduced in season 1, but people call her the original kind of likable character they basically threw under the rails. But on the other hand, I really like that they managed to seek justice for her character at the end. Very good. Like, very good that they didn't just let this red shirt go without a funeral. And now we get to the main character, the true main character herself, 11. One of the great rising stars out of Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown, 11. I mean, she really goes from this mute test subject to, and like, just as this show has the uber machismo tragic backstory leader, there's also the escaped mute test subject who, joins who's the only female of the these four-dude band. 11, really like how she goes from this escaped test subject to a finally finding her voice, to a normal kid, finally back to being a living super weapon and weapon trying to stop the villainous Vecna. 11, really, on the one hand, she's the only guy with powers, so that's very interesting. But yeah, great character arc over the course of the series, great performance, great development, and really one of the great mascots of Stranger Things, up there with the Demogorgon. Like, I mean, she's basically a fountain of memes with like Eggo waffles, like her social skills. The meat dragon from season 3.
Is that the surprise?
No.
That looks like a meat dragon. Did you finish your meat dragon, Carl?
Maybe.
It's horrifying, Carl.
Thank you.
The meat dragon, yep, the meat dragon was a great monster for the finale. But like, he was only B tier because despite the fact that 30 people died creating this monstrosity, and it attacked a public area, like an area that would usually be crowded, no one stinking noticed this giant CGI monstrosity. That just has to have taken like $10 million worth of CGI to create, and it runs down a highway, yet still, not a single gosh darn soul notices it, even though it walked right past a crowded theme park, amusement park, a carnival or something. No one noticed this gosh darn thing. I mean, that's really just suspending disbelief. One member of Collie's gang, don't remember, okay, the Native American kid, B tier because he was hilarious, but also only going in B because cultural appropriation, not cool dude. And also he was a ripoff of that one kid from Parasite, and Parasite stole 1917's Best Picture of the Year award. Lucas, I really feel like his character got shafted. Really don't feel like he had his own arc. Felt like he was too much like a side character to Max. And like I read one article like saying like he was the only African American character and got shafted or something. Very sad. Like got shafted by the story. But that's just the article from some African American person, not me. But anyway, great performance from Caleb McLaughlin. Great character arc of trying to balance his friends versus being popular and not wanting to be a loser. And yeah, I really wish they gave him more to do, but good for what he was. Officer Powell, I mean, he is a member of the damn pit. Just a second, guys. Oops. Okay, the damn pigs, oink oink, so, okay, the damn pigs, he goes there, and, the other guy, who is the other damn member of the damn pigs? Yep, both of these guys, the damn pigs, go where they belong, oink oink. Yuri, okay, this was my, underrated character from season, 4. Yuri, not Yuri, Enzo / Dimitri, And it's not just because he was a from Game of Thrones, basically making this Stranger Thrones da 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 da. Like a man really likes to have a cameo. A man has no face, like Dimitri. I mean, seeing Jock and Hagar return, like and play. But on the other hand, he was also like a very simply badass character, like managing to survive the Demogorgon and managing to smuggle Jim Bob out, nearly smuggling Jim Hopper out of Russia, and really provides some nuance to the Russian characters. Once again, I love the Russian subplot, just for how much of a mix-up it was. Like, really a change of setting. Like, they go from this boring American town, like for the past 3 seasons, to this Russian, the Russian wilderness, turn their evil, like, Resident Evil Dead Space prison, and love to see him return. I really hope he returns in Season 5 for the finale. Okay, and everyone's hated character from Season 4, Jason. On the one hand, yes, he was a jerk-ass, and yes, he was... But he had made a few sexist comments, but on the other hand, like, I really can't help but feel sorry for this guy. He was basically handed red herrings like he was at a freaking seafood buffet. First, this one kid who basically wore being a weirdo, freakish weirdo on his sleeve, his last scene with his girlfriend when he was the last person seen with his girlfriend when she was killed and then fled the scene. Then, his best friend is killed. He finds the same prime suspect and his best friend is killed, like, using telekinesis right in front of him. He was right next... and then he finds the person who basically left his team for understandable reasons from Lucas's perspective, but he finds a catatonic girl, and then with some guy who left his team, and is basically the only explanation he's given is "I can explain," which. So, and then he's finally killed in a gruesome manner, in a symbolic manner, being in the wrong place, being positioned in the wrong place in the wrong time. He's a very complex villain, great parody of Archie Andrews, but one thing I realized the show doesn't seem to realize is just how much of a parallel he was to the original group. I mean, being a group of close-knit band of teens trying to uncover a mystery when the damn pigs are basically useless and suspecting supernatural means. They really served as like a foil to the original group, so understandable villain, but a great example of how jerks are more... He's basically just the Director Hayward of Stranger Things, being someone who has basically an extremely understandable point, but because they're a jerk-ass, of course he's a villain. Moving on from that jerk-ass, we get to the king himself, Eddie freaking Munson. S tier. I mean, Joseph Quinn gave a great and a stellar performance as this guy. Really captures the D&D nerd, brings us back to the metalhead era of Metallica. That was music! Really liked how his determination in escaping from the damn pigs, and I think his Metallica Master of Puppet scene is basically the best scene in the entire show. All 4 seasons, and great friendship with Dustin. My only problem is he's basically the 3rd time in a row, like Stranger Things pulled that of introducing an extremely likable and quirky new character, quirky, nerdy, likable new character, and basically killing him in the season finale. It's just the fact that they did that for the 3rd time in a row that makes it really hard. Like the 3rd time in a row, they introduced a character in the beginning of a season, then killed him off by the end of it. Very sad. I mean, very easily one of the most heartbreaking deaths. And I really feel like his heroic sacrifice, didn't really feel like he to be honest, I felt like he threw himself. He just threw himself out. It was good intentions, but very sad indeed. Karen Wheeler, B tier. She really doesn't do that much. Sam Owens, okay, this guy is S tier, like, on the one hand, he's very likable, serves as, like, a good counterpart to Dr. Banner, really serves as, like, a father figure to the group, like, a mentor figure. And, of course, the real reason he's in S tier, Paul Reiser was on The Boys Season 3, of course, so gotta put him in S tier.
Yeah, Roy Scheider, Dustin, Angelica, Big Chief Apache. That whole night's still a little cloudy to me. But if you ask Army Archer, I was balls deep in Golden Geisha, and Marlon Brando was apparently balls deep in me. What, that's gay now? Fuck you. Who cares?
For that, of course. One of the school bullies, yeah, I don't care about her. Bruce Lowe, Jake Busey's character, A tier, okay, the missing mustard on my hamburger joke was just hilarious. I can't believe I laughed at that. And, like, people say, like, he's a bad character because he was introduced just to be a jerk-ass, but on the other hand, like, come on, he was just a minor character, really. And he really just served as, like, another, like, red shirt to be killed off. I think he's a jerk-ass, but but Jake Busey just chews the scenery so much that I can't help but appreciate it. This guy, C tier, on the one hand, he was a jerk-ass, and, he's a white boy with played by a white boy with the last name Park, so, C tier. He really was just a jerk-ass, but, like, didn't do that much. This guy, he was a dick, so, D tier. And I should probably add an F tier, because... And F, abusers get no sympathy on this channel. And with an upcoming video... between this and an upcoming video, you'll see that abusers, be it abusive parents or abusive lovers, get absolutely zero sympathy on this channel. Doris, very sad, like, she seemed like a nice old Christian lady. Very sad what happened to her being, basically turned into another one of the Mind Flayers, cannon fodder. She will be avenged! And finally, Yuri! Okay, this guy was so much of a ham that I just loved his character. A tier up there with, yep, A tier. Yuri, I mean, he was just like, he showed how much of a jerk-ass the dashing smuggler would actually be. I really liked that they redeemed him, didn't just feed him to the Demogorgon. And really liked how he managed to escape in one piece. But he's not S tier because he's smuggling peanut butter, to which I'm lethally allergic. So he only gets A tier. And apparently I heard something about a spin-off or something. Really don't think that's gonna happen. Ted Wheeler, C tier. He really doesn't do that much. He's basically just a dad from Turning Red, where he's basically just a background character beside 1 or 2 lines. Samwise Gamgee! S tier, right about here. Easily one of the most cruelest examples of the likable character being killed off. Sean Austin, the guy that played Samwise Gamgee in Lord of the Rings, and also voiced Raph in TMNT 2012. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in the Half Shell, Turtle Power. But yeah, great character. Very sad what happened to him. Really sad because he just needed to move a bit. And the Goonies throwback was pretty good. So yeah, this character is by all accounts S tier material. We all love this guy and missed him. Will Byers, like, A tier because on the one hand he's like, he is one of the, great, an example of an INFP character, my Myers-Briggs type. But on the other hand, I feel like for the first two seasons, he was basically just they basically just put him through hell to a almost comical degree. But in season 3, like, he had a minor arc, but in season 4, I really feel like this guy got shafted. Very sad what happened to him. They keep saying he's gay, but I really don't think they explore that enough. And there's foreshadowing there's like foreshadowing that he's a psychic or like something like the original Henry Creel. But on the other hand, I really think that if he was going to be a psychic, they really should have revealed it by now. So, A tier. I really feel like this cast, like, it's just too large and too spread out for like certain characters get shafted and others don't. Like, I really feel like Dustin's the only guy that really has like a consistent effect on the plot. Angela, the bully, F tier. On the one hand, like, when I was having one of my angry outbursts, fun fact, my sister compared me to Eleven banging the... You sound like a nutjob. You sound like the type of person who would, like, Eleven when she beat the girl with the roller skates. What my sister doesn't realize is that Eleven was absolutely justified in that moment. Bullies deserve... One thing I realized, like, the only way you're gonna deal with bullies, be they the teachers who call your parents without your permission, or like regular bullies, is to give them a roller skate to the face. That's the only way you're gonna stop them from making that phone call. Great job on you, 11. D'Artagnan, like, on one hand, like, I really should advise you shouldn't approach a wild animal unless you're a trained professional, so C tier. And like how they showed off the life cycle of the Demogorgon really helps flesh this out. The goth girl, okay, she's S tier by virtue of being the token goth girl in the show, and like Allison Reynolds was one of the best. Come on, we all know that she was the best characters in The Breakfast Club, as outdated as that film is. Lonnie Byers, D tier, he was a jerk-ass, but on the other hand, like, I really feel like they wasted his character. I mean, he's the dad. I mean, I really feel like, one thing, like, apart from Joyce, I feel like all of the parent characters basically get completely shafted in this. Like, even though their kids, 4 times in a row have been, involved in government conspiracies, interdimensional plots, and monster attacks, they somehow just basically stick their noses in the newspaper and ask them how their day was instead of sending them to an uber-secure fortress and taking them as far away from danger as possible. I mean, adults are useless in real life, but come on, can't we escape that? I mean, all adults are that useless, as we all know, so it's realistic, but come on, I watch these TV shows to see if it's possible to not see non-useless adults. Patrick, I saw another article saying it was problematic to have like one of the few new black characters basically be another red shirt, so C tier. Same thing with Chrissy and Freddy. I feel like Vecna's victims were all just red shirts that were introduced just to be killed off, and I really don't like that they didn't, like, the only African-American character didn't flesh out what his sad backstory was. Really made it feel kind of rushed and almost feel like Vecna was deliberately trying to manipulate Jason into being another one of his pawns in his scheme, which was clever on Vecna's part, but bad for the representation on the show. Very sad what happened to Patrick. Just sort of makes a series feel kind of unplanned out. Like each season they were planning to have be the last one, but then they got news they could get a new one, so start all over again. There's not a lot of foreshadowing in between seasons, is what I'm saying. Don't know this guy, but he works at a video store. S tier. Physical media should never go out of business. Like, given like how that show Final Space Season 3 is now completely inaccessible, physical media is uber important for posteriory's sake. Jonathan Byers, really love this character. Really good teen character. Very easily. Charlie Heaton gives a great performance as like the brooding older brother character. Really cares for his younger brother Will and his mom. I feel like season 3 was his best season. How they gave him a good fight scene. Really liked his determination in season 1. Season 2, he was also pretty nice. And season 4, I feel like he was just another member of, like, easily the weakest plotline in season 4 was like the Will, Mike, Argyle, the Jonathan, Will, Argyle, Mike plotline. I really feel like that was just drawn out and didn't go anywhere. Really just felt like they were just being like the Uber driver for 11. Not enough being fleshed. Terry Ives, very sad, but very nice. I mean, she's a lobotomy patient. I think she just should have just been put in like a special needs a hospice or something. Very sad. Kali, one of the few people of color that isn't white or black, but on the one hand, I feel like C tier, like no one really. I feel like they really should have. Episode 7 is easily one of the weakest seasons thus far. Episode 7, Season 2, one of the weakest, just came out of nowhere. I really feel like it was just like a side quest or something. Really feel like she should have come back by now. Or just given her something more to do. Don't even know how she managed to escape. I'll have to read back into the thing with Vecna. So see, and this kid, don't really know him either. Professor Clark, this guy, okay, I really like the cool science teacher. I mean, my own physics, my chemistry teacher was fairly nice. My college environmental teacher was very nice. Science teachers for me have been sort of hit or miss. My 8th grade science teacher was very nice, but my high school physics teacher, she was just a piece of shit. She screeched like a banshee. She was always like screeching like a banshee and yelling about nothing. I'm very glad that I'm done with her. Bitch. But anyway, Professor Clark, very easily one of the good science teachers, one that doesn't call your parents without your permission. Very nice of him. We need more good, more people like him. This guy, another one of Kali's gang members, don't really remember. He was only in one episode, didn't get a lot of characterization. Lieutenant Colonel Sullivan, another member of the damn pigs, like the government. I mean, the government runs the police, so he's basically a member of the damn pigs. And he's completely useless at stopping the existential threat, just like an actual government. So, points for accuracy, I guess. Wait, scratch that. That guy isn't the member of the damn pigs. That's Dustin's. That's Lucas's dad, who I don't think does much like think it is. This series has a lot of forgettable background characters. That's the member of the damn pigs I was talking about. I think that's the guard who gets shot and who dies. Goes, I'm dying, take my MacGuffin. Doesn't really get enough characterization. That kid, B tier, because he kind of reminds me of this one guy I know from my gaming club. Okay, Murray Bauman. Okay, this is my favorite character in the entire series. Like, ahead of, wait, that's not Murray. I messed everything up. Yeah, Murray Bauman, favorite character in the entire series. Great, and, a kung fu master, tech expert, speaker of Russian, hacker, nerd overall. Great character, and he even managed to help take on the Ivans in that epic plotline. So, S tier. and really liked his development over the course of the series, how he serves as like this mastermind of the entire series, like the good guy's plan, like the guy at the table, the guy on the guy in like the computer chair, like hitting the heroes, so S tier. Benny, okay, good, been a while since I've had a good hamburger, so B tier for Benny's Burgers, and yet another example of a likable character being killed off, very sad. And yes, Smirnoff, like, okay, every scene with Smirnoff was hilarious. Even though his name is Alexei, I remember there was this one time, and, no, I'm not gonna say it. Hurts to remember. Too embarrassing. But yeah, Smirnoff was in 2 Hunger Games simulators. Great, and he manages to poke a hole and poke a hole in the dimensions, likes cherry slurpees, and according to Hopper, no, that's not what we're posting about. So yeah, S tier. Mike Wheeler, A tier. Okay, this is a B tier character. I really feel like his role in the story was really like. This character just experienced a huge amount of burnout over the series, like he was a good he was basically the main protagonist in season 1, and the lead, more or less just the leader of the party in season 2. Then in season 3, he's basically just standing there. Then in season 4, he gets completely shafted and is basically just emotional support for Eleven. Really just shows like just how spread thin the cast was. I mean, like, he's upper limits B tier, but B tier nonetheless. Erica, B tier, she was entertaining enough. Sass, not sure. I mean, like, great black female nerds, like, we need more of those in fiction. Great representation, I mean, one of the better pieces of representation in this show, so B tier. Okay, and now we get to the Mind Flayer. I feel kind of mixed. On the one hand, we basically learned that he's basically just the puppet of Vecna, but on the other hand, he is a genuinely intimidating force through season 2, and especially season 3. Just seeing how psychotic he is, and disturbing his antics are, like just how incomprehensibly powerful he is. Like they really can't put a scratch on him. All they can really do is just fend him off briefly. So A tier, very good example of like the cosmic horror villain. So where he is. Nancy Wheeler, S tier, really, actually A tier, really. Really like her, how she goes from like the generic like female like popular girl to the basically in season 3 and 4 really managing to hold her own, and culminating in season 4 when she basically gives Vecna a mouthful of lead. Very badass, and great example of journalist integrity, managing to challenge the disgusting yellow journalism of lamestream media. Actually, S tier for taking a stand against lamestream media. Lamestream media sucks. Okay, Eddie Munson's uncle, Wayne Munson, very sad character. Had to watch his basically nephew get blackmailed. Watch his nephew get falsely accused and later die off screen. Provided us some good guidance to the main character's side character. This guy, he was just another one of Jason's friends. Not good or bad, but don't really didn't do a lot of characterization other than having a hat. One of the test subjects, don't know that guy. Dustin, okay, S tier. He feels like Will doesn't get a lot to do in season 2. The later seasons, Mike basically had his main role as main character tumble into nothing. Lucas got shafted as well, as one article said, but Dustin, I feel like Dustin's one of the few characters that consistently manages to keep, like, he's the bombastic nerd character, really feels like he's the guy plotting out everything. Like, I really feel like this guy should have been the main character, not Mike. I mean, like, with the party, I mean, like, there really isn't a main character. Like, I mean, the party just gets split off so randomly and, like, to such a degree that it's very hard to keep track of everyone, so I'm putting that guy at S tier, Dustin, for managing to keep a consistent presence as a main character throughout the story. Billy Hargrove, D tier, really, I mean, he was a blither. I feel like C tier, I mean, like, he was just a racist jerk-ass. And, but on the other hand, he had a slightly sad death scene. And, really feel like he was just, yeah, great example of, like, a mildly jerk-ass character turned genuinely terrifying threat, but, C tier. He was just a lot less redeemable than the characters thought. Jim Bob's daughter doesn't feels, I mean, she's only in the backstory, can't say a lot on him. You know what, I'm just gonna put the last two members of Collie's gang here. They didn't really do anything memorable. Steve Harrington, okay, everyone's favorite, Steve Harrington, S tier, right below the woman that respected patient confidentiality. Steve Harrington really, like, goes from, like, the cool popular guy to the, like, real, like, motivator for the group, like, and managing to, take on, Yep, and managing to somehow survive shirtless in the middle of a death dimension for several episodes straight. That was a badass moment of his. And managing to take on the basically all the secret underground operations of the Ivans. That was badass. And in season 2, really manages to build on, like, the archetype of, like, the cool kid protagonist from 80s movies, as with a lot of things in the Stranger Things. So yeah, S tier, he's really one of the most lovable characters in the series. Vicky, she really doesn't get that much characterization. Argyle, A tier with my respect for stoners, #legalize. I remember back in my dorm for the last 2 months of last semester, basically my roommates every other night would invite these other two kids, this one kid with curly hair and this one, like, Arabic or something kid from my English class, and they would just basically get stoned like they were in the middle of the Middle East and watch random documentaries or philosophical documentaries or stuff like that. Exactly the type of stuff you watch when you're stoned. And he also provides some good pizza. Pizza's delicious and nutritious. School bully, F tier, we all hate bullies. Dustin's mom, C tier, she really doesn't contribute that much. Joyce, the type of mother who, this is how you write a no-protective mother properly. Give them a reason to be upset, give them a good give them a reason to be unprotected, give them good determination. And, like, I really like her budding relationship with Hopper over the course of the series, managing to break into the Ivan's lair and rescue Hopper, and help take on the Demogorgon. Great mother figure, how she goes from, like, just like the overprotective mom trying to get her son back from a dark dimension to really supporting him to, like I said, managing to take on the Ivans single-handedly. She was nice for taking care of her sister. Great way to take care of disabled people. So B tier, be more sensitive. Number 2. Oh yeah, this guy was number 2, alright. The Christian lady singing B tier, she was nice. And finally, Max Mayfield, a very sad character. S tier. Okay, she feels like one of the characters that felt like she had a genuine arc, like not just like in terms of personality change, but like actions in the story. She starts out as a newbie to the group, like then she realizes her own brother is the dragon to the main villain in season 3. Builds up a relationship with Lucas and a friendship with Eleven. And finally, in season 4, her trauma comes to face her in the face, and with the power of her friend, she manages to fend them off. But she's so attached to them, she's willing to sacrifice herself to basically be bait for Vecna and take on be bait for Vecna and let them come with an danger of killing him. Her supposed death scene at the end of season 4 was truly sad. One of the most heartbreaking scenes with like the music, her last lines. Really hoping she's not quite gone in season 5. We just got to see. So there it is, my rankings for every single character in Stranger Things. See you in season 5.